Hi there, I'm Andrew. Welcome to Adventure Rider. Today we're going to look at the Leatt Adventure helmet. This is new for 2025 and I have one of the only ones in existence. I've been lucky enough to be given this off the stand at EICMA at the World Preview a few weeks back, and this will be released in the UK in early 2025, but annoyingly the global release is in just a few days. So I'm keen to get this out there and shout about it because this is probably, I'm going to say it, the best all-round dual sport helmet that there is, or will be once it's released. It's a stunning effort, especially given that Leatt are fairly new to the adventure game. They came out in 2024 following from their success in the MX world. They were the first people to create neck braces and built from that. And their adventure collection is just brilliant. It was a very small capsule collection, but it had something for everybody with a different approach to adventure riding. And now finally they've got this helmet, which is just so wonderful. What they wanted to do was try and copy the sort of look and feel of their very, very good off-road motocross helmet, which I actually have personally and I'm a massive fan of. So when I heard they were taking that sort of outline, that silhouette, and making it into an adventure helmet, of course I was really keen to get it and try it. And the verdict is, this is brilliant, not just because of what it is as a helmet and how it does it, but also because of what it comes with at the price it comes at and just how well it executes everything. So I will take you through all of it. There are two different shells. We have the 8.5, which is a tri-composite shell, and we have the 9.5, which is the carbon 6-layered matrix. And there is a minimal weight difference between the two. So the carbon is about 50 grams lighter, coming in just under 1500 at 1475, and the 8.5 comes in at 1525. So they're in a similar territory. The weight difference of 50 grams isn't enough to really justify the price difference itself. It's just about having a very cool, sexy carbon helmet. And there's one other difference, which is that the 9.5, unlike the 8.5, comes with a goggle with an iris lens, which is Leatt's reflective lens, as opposed to a clear lens on the goggle that comes with the 8.5. So I'll get onto goggles in a second. The price is not the cheapest, but it's also, once I get into everything I'm about to, so do bear with me, I think very reasonable. So 479 for the 8.5 and 639 for the carbon 9.5. So the shell itself, there are 3 shell sizes, 4 colours, there's one in the carbon upon release, and it's a very light helmet, so it's a good 250 grams lighter than most other dual sport helmets. It is incredibly well thought through. It's extremely comfortable. It's possibly the quietest as well. So in terms of touring, if that's something you like to do a lot of, or lots of high-speed commuting, this is brilliant. It's extremely comfortable. It's got a nice slim profile. It comes with a photochromic lens, which is brilliant. It comes with Pinlock 120 Max XLT, and it also comes with an extra clear lens as well. So you can choose which one you fit the Pinlock to. I fitted it to the photochromic lens, and this photochromic lens, by the way, is brilliant. It adjusts itself perfectly. I've tried different photochromic lenses and they're often quite quick to go full dark. So even when there's only a bit of light out there, they go full dark, and that's not always what you want. This one really responds just perfectly to the ambient lighting, and it gets it right, and it transitions fairly promptly as well. And the Pinlock fits wonderfully in it, going right the way to the periphery of your vision, and just does a brilliant job. This is Pinlock's best, most expansive, adventure focused lens, which will basically take away any moisture so you don't get fogging. That's the point of the Pinlock, and it's brilliant that comes included. But we also get a pair of goggles, the Leatt's 4.5 goggles, tried and tested in their motocross helmets, and we get that included at the price. So you've got 2 visors, you've got the Pinlock, and you've got the goggles, and of course the helmet bag. You get some spares as well, and you've just got a wonderful helmet. You've got a toolless release for the visor, so it's genuinely super easy to do. And I will do a quick cutaway and tell you a bit more about that. So this could backfire, but I'm halfway up a long trail and just entering the off-road sections, and I've had the fixed visor, and this is about the time I'd want to switch for the goggles because you get nicer airflow. It just feels like you're more connected to your surroundings. So I'm going to try this completely blind for the first time with not much room to work with. So we shall see, but it looks fairly straightforward. So we've got these 2 bits either side on the visor in the closed position. I'm going to just flip them up. And I'm hoping, oh, that is it. There we go. I'm going to put these somewhere that's not caked in mud. Right, left, visor off, and I think I'm just going to put those back on actually, just for now. There are blanking plates, but I'm not too fussed about putting them on. I'm just going to keep that as it is. And that's it. So that was actually record time without instructions, and genuinely hadn't done it before, so There we go, ready to roll in the next section. So as you can see, really, really simple to use, but it's also very easy to ride with both of them on in one configuration. So I get this question a lot. Can you have the goggles and the visor fitted at once so you don't have to remove the visor? And ironically, even though this is probably the easiest helmet to remove the visor on, yes, you can. It absolutely works fine. And there's your proof. Fits perfectly. Really easy. So you wouldn't be able to put the goggles up here. You would have to pop them here if you don't want them in use, or spin them around the back like motocrossers do. But either way, pretty neat. We have a helmet that's been very closely considered when it comes to drag reduction, when it comes to the aerodynamic factors of it. So there are reported massive savings in terms of lift compared to the industry benchmark. I don't know which helmet that would be. And I have to say, when riding this, it really is very impressive for a dual sport where I've kept the visor fixed at all times. No matter what speed I'm doing, if I'm moving my head around, there is a minimal catching of the wind. I think that's very impressive to achieve that with a peak that actually doesn't appear to have lots and lots of negative cutouts like you would find on some of the others that have quite a low drag factor. So I think that's really impressive. The ventilation element of the helmet is really nicely executed as well. So you have this large chin vent, you have exit vents around the side and also around the rear as well. This can be opened and closed quite easily with this thumb point. I would say it's not the most sort of satisfying. It is quite a basic little switch there that is going to open and close that vent, but it's easy to use and it's very easy to navigate your way to, even with gloves on. With the Pinlock, it performs brilliantly. It fits right the way to the very edge of the visor, which is fantastic because you often find that Pinlocks don't quite reach the edge and you're very aware of it in your periphery. This visor doesn't have any complicated mechanisms to firmly seal it shut like you'll find on some of the other dual sport helmets. You just push it down and it locates itself correctly, and you can kind of open it from anywhere really. You do have this extended point here for your left thumb just to pull it up, but it opens nice and easily from anywhere and has really nice and secure points along the way, ratcheting on the way up and down, and that will definitely hold in position as you want it. We have the 360 turbine technology, which helps reduce rotational energy transferred through to the brain on impact. It's similar to MIPS as used in other brands, and all I can say is I've crashed in one of their helmets that has it, and my head came off fairly well given I was going about 40 and crashed on a rocky path quite hard. So I wouldn't dispute the fact that it's a very effective measure there, and I think anything that can help with that is good. That actually goes beyond the requirements of 2206. Rotational force dispersion, funnily enough, isn't part of the equation. So a helmet that has it is a bonus over what you'll find in most other helmets that are 2206 certified. It also has an emergency quick release system, which is very handy and pretty idiot proof. It has a little pointer there and it simply says pull. So again, no need to overcomplicate this. I've seen this done very complicated ways where you have a QR code that the emergency services are supposed to scan for instructions to then realize how to release the padding around the neck to get the helmet off in a safe manner in the event of an accident and injury. So I think that's pushing things a bit in terms of what you're going to want in an emergency. Just say pull and pull it, and then it comes away and it leaves you enough space to get the helmet off really freely. You also have this extended neck piece here, so this provides really good support. The whole helmet has allegedly been engineered with very much sound insulation in mind, and again, it's very hard to find objective sound insulation data. I can simply say with the bike I have and the setup I have, one helmet compares this or that way to the other. This is the quietest dual sport helmet that I've used. It's really surprising because I don't feel like I have a heavy helmet on. Well, I don't. It's a good 200 grams lighter than most others on the market of this variety. And I have to say, it's just really comfy, nice and quiet. You get the chin curtain included. You also get some other spares included in the box as well. So you get the blanking plates. So if you want to take the visor off and have the goggles, there's a blanking plate just to cover where this little hinge plate here would be for the visor. And you also have some spares as well, which I just think is a really nice little touch. The overall sizing and the shape of the helmet is, I think, pretty true to size. So I am a 58 centimeter and I actually went up to the large in their off-road helmet because I found the medium was just a bit too small. They say they've copied the sizing, but all I can tell you is I'm a medium in this one. I tried the large and it was too loose, so I don't think they've copied the sizing, or if it does, it doesn't translate. So bear that in mind if you're coming from one of their other helmets. If you're not, then there's no issues because it sizes correctly. On the back it says medium 57, 58, so I would be the upper side of that. I have quite an oval head shape, as you can probably see, and I would say for the first few rides of this helmet, there was a bit of pressure on the front. I had a small red mark, but that's already gone after a minimal amount of riding, so I think there's nothing fundamentally wrong. I think it's a fairly universal head shape. I think it's true to size, and I would say in terms of overall comfort, it is one of the comfier. I think something like the Aero Commander 2 has that sort of rare ability that the second you put it on when it's brand new, it just feels beautiful and worn in already. This one takes just a couple of rides, I would say, but no more than that. So they've done really, really well there. Here I have the black grey, which is really nice. Under sort of darker conditions, it appears to just have a sort of largely black gloss facade, but you can definitely see under sort of a bit more light that it actually has more of a sort of grey and black two-tone, which goes very nicely with the not Leatt suit that I am wearing. The peak is designed to break away in the event of a crash, so it doesn't put too much stress upon the point it's mounted on the shell, which is key because otherwise that could obviously create damage to the shell caused just by the peak getting caught in a crash. I, as I said, have crashed and I have experienced this, and it came off. I didn't realise the peak had come off. That was the only downside. I got to the end of the race and someone asked me where my peak was. The answer is somewhere up in the Sweet Lamb Adventure Complex in Wales on a mountain. But it definitely did what it was intended to do, which was not to transfer any of that through to the actual core of the helmet shell. And peaks will be available separately. Some spares will be available separately as well. This is a double D-ring fastening mechanism, which is the safest, easiest and most secure way to do things up. And overall, I think in terms of value, this places it sort of middle price point. So it's not the cheapest, but bear in mind there are helmets at this price point that don't come with goggles, that don't come with a photochromic lens. Photochromic lenses are usually in the sort of £100 plus territory. So that included, and the Pinlock and the goggle, I think you've got a really, really comprehensive dual sport experience here. So you can use this for full off-road very easily. You can use this for absolutely everything, and it does absolutely everything brilliantly. And that's a rare exception, I would say. So for me, this is, I think, going to be my favourite as of 2025 adventure helmet out there on the market, which now is quite a competitive place to be. There are some really wonderful helmets out there, and stay tuned because I will be shortly releasing a top 5 2025 dual sport helmet review. And it's a very tight race. There is so much good stuff nowadays being made for you guys, so we're a spoiled bunch. But Leatt have smashed it, absolutely smashed it. Bear in mind, it's their first adventure helmet, and honestly, I can't think of much that they could do to improve this. So I would highly commend their efforts, and hope that you guys also agree with the positive things that I have said. And if you have any questions about it in terms of how it works, anything that I may have omitted to mention, then please do let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more video reviews of the world's finest adventure gear, and we will see you again soon. And if not, before Christmas, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.